Hey, what you saying?
Yes, it's a joyful hour again, you know. Give
Serious. Serious, and we're back at it. This is officially Ep.6, I believe, B.H.N.T.D and the Dread.
Yeah, and this podcast is beyond the regular, you know. So you know that them can go to all Podomatic, iTunes, Spotify, and all the streaming platforms to listen to the full thing, you know.
Fullness of the reason, a serious thing. Today we want to focus on a divorce that all people need to make. You know, a lot of times we hear about divorce and relationships and those things they're supposed to fight out, but the divorce with this thing called white flour, sugar, and salt. Really need to break away from these things because it's a destructive relationship. It's an abusive relationship, you know. And, you know, most abusive relationships, people don't know it's abusive. But this one here, terrible, and it's causing a lot of destruction. So,
yeah, the one that would come like one of them relationships, the way everything nice and you and your girl are going hold some whole heap of vibes and everything same and you feel good in yourself, but you even know she have some different type of thoughts in a fear brain, you know. She have some clogged up artery things, she have some diabetes,
no, reality meds and this thing's serious and I'm a man that could talk about it because I know about the experience, you know. But first thing I want people to really over is that the food industry makes foods that's addictive, right? We just have to have that in the front of your brain. The food is created to be addictive because when the food is addictive, just like any other addictive product, you have a consistent customer base. You come back all the time. Like when Coca-Cola created Coca-Cola, they created with the purpose of it always being in your house. Every time you go to the supermarket, you're supposed to be buying Coca-Cola, not just for you, but for the next generation. And that's the psychology that they have. So I think the first thing people need to really over is that this food, don't feel no way. You can't feel like, you know, it's unique to you. The food is created to be addictive.
Yeah, and then become the consumers. Them get caught in the plight because them become like a drug user. Addiction thing, the seriousness, not a joke thing, you know. People really see it and hear you talk about it and might brush it off, but them don't even realize that this is an actual thing where them have a team designated in all of these companies who create these things just particularly for you to come back. It's called retention. Them have a department to focus on all of that retention.
And the thing so disturbing is that people don't understand, why would a food company hire psychologists? Or why would it? Because it's the mind manipulation, not just the taste fire, the smell that you smell when the package is open, the texture of the product, the coloring on the label, the placement of the product in the store. All these things add or heighten the probability of you buying it and pleasing your senses.
And I want to tell you, just like in the book biology, them tell about the whole chemistry of the vents. The vents are most of the fast food restaurants, how they make a particular smell. Them designate a particular smell, just like a perfume. But it might sound strange to everybody because when you hear about a perfume, you think about a sweet sensation. But them design a particular chemical to flow through the vents them to catch it. Like if you see Popeyes and you see McDonald's and a couple of them, the particular smell where you can smell from even afar, it designated for reach you, so you can try get to them for know them or they know them in that proximity, and then they go and buy.
If a person thinks we're talking falsehood, right? Just turn on your TV. I don't have cable. If I watch it, I watch it on YouTube. But look at the commercials. You never see a commercial for natural foods.
All right.
Admits that the only commercials you see are for packaged processed foods. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? You know what I'm saying? They're not fulfilling, they're low in nutrients, and they're highly addictive. And they're easy to get addictive to that palate, that taste, that sugar, and that salt. First thing I want to talk about is this flour, right? And before we even get into this, I really encourage people that, yes, I know we promote a plant-based lifestyle on the channel and in our reasons, but put that to the side for now, right? But before you even get on that journey, focus on reducing flour, sugar, and salt. First thing I want to talk about is the bleach flour, right? As you know, in its original state, has numerous nutrients and minerals. I believe it has like this has fiber, and correct me if I'm wrong, vitamin B, vitamin E, some antioxidants, and some healthy fats, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it's stripped now down to the white flour, it has nothing.
Strictly saturation, man. Strictly saturation.
You know, and if a person really meds how much white flour they consume, you know, because going through my journey, I went through a thing where, yes, I wasn't eating meat, I was eating a whole heap of flour. Yeah.
But yes, in a even I culture, Jamaican culture, you have the people them only know to eat two things, you know. Them when it comes to like a part of the meal. If it's not white flour or white rice, you know. So it's like every day you want somebody a reasonable food and you tell them, say, no, someone not cook the rice today. And them say, oh, so you cook some flour. But they don't know anything else at all because me do a whole study and reach out to the people. And they don't know anything else because every single day. And then when you check it out now, this white flour thing now is full of starch. And then all of the starch weight that come with it now. Remember bleach thing here come, the white product, you know. So really and truly, you know, anything with white for your system, it's not even good, you know. I mean, not be political. I'm not be political yet. I'm not be political, so you
know. You know, it's funny, you know, rest in power, the one Dr. Africa, right? And the man reasoning there on the heights, but he come off kind of arrogant and kind of like judgmental, I think. The way his presentation, and it turned people off. But if you read it, the man speak about avoiding white products. And when you really meds it, it's true, fire.
Mm-hmm.
That flour, that sugar, and that salt.
Cause all the flour really break down to, you know, it's like the starch break down to the sugar them, you know, with the glucose, and then that store up in your body, you know. And then it take a time for process and come out of your system. And guess what now? Meanwhile it try come out of your system, you are putting more white flour. So the more white flour, and then the people not even active nowadays again. So imagine you know they're in your house just sit down and watch TV
all
and
day.
I take intake all of this white flour. Guess what that gonna lead to now? Your artery, some clogged up artery or something of that sort.
Very true, and I'm glad you brought up that point. And to the reason, I don't want to stick on that too much, but that sedative lifestyle. People, we need to move. People don't understand it's like, and if you don't exercise or you don't work out, I think you should be walking at least a half hour a day. Put on your headphones or your friend or your kid or something and go for a walk. This has to be a part of your daily routine. It's not no once in a while thing. This is just a part of your life to have a basic level of health, you know? I want to get to the next one now, and this is what I call the big boy, sugar. Because historically, black people have not had a good relationship with sugar. If anybody need a divorce from something, it's sugar. And fire, before we even start, I want to say what I noticed is that the addictive nature of sugar. When I stopped drinking, right, having drank for years, and when I stopped burning herb, and when I meds it, just like I was using alcohol or herb to comfort me, sugar became the comfort, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Sugar, man. Sugar are the biggest killer, you know. I feel like sugar are the biggest killer in the world, you know. Especially when it comes to black people really have a high sugar intake, and it's like historically it's a bad thing too, because historically tied towards we being with chattel slavery, being on a plantation, and even now that we left the physical plantation, it's like sugar, they might be too bad with the sugar, especially the high fructose sugar right now. I mean, not even talk about just cane sugar enough, because they have different level of sugar now where they have it breakdown in different groups and categories in the fire. It'll be too bad, me I tell you.
Yeah, and I just want to get back on the historical aspect, and I don't have it in front of me, but I remember reading a quote in a book where a person said, if Europeans were to reduce their sugar intake by 21 pounds, there would be no need for slavery. You know? And the slavery was fueled by the need for, what was the biggest crop?
All right. Then sugar cane, man.
Sugar cane. Then with that, you have sugar, you have molasses, you have the rum. So the demand was so high and people were making so much money, we kept it going. But now what we experience now is that I really think it's a comforting vibe. I can just speak for myself, you know, because when, as I said, during the process now, it's like, yeah, you're not eating regular cookies. I'm eating vegan cookies. But the sugar same way, fire.
Full of sugar, same way, man.
And sodium too, but we gotta get to the sodium. But with the sugar now, type 2 diabetes, obviously, heart disease, cancer, gingivitis too, the sugar bring. And you don't even feel good after you eat it.
No, it's sluggish. Make you sluggish.
I think that's the next thing. People need the meds and really, that's why you need to try certain things and see the difference.
Me always say with sugar, it's like especially when it comes to black people now, me always say with sugar, say black people are trying to catch up back to white people addiction of sugar. I remember what I say, historically speaking, white people they have this extreme addiction to sugar where them use that for create chattel slavery. Where them bring up on the plantation because them have this fascination with rum, them have the fascination with all of these sugar things, and then now black people come off of the sugar plantation now and say, wait, white people love sugar so much, we could try run them down and see if we can catch them back in the sugar race now. Now we check it out, diabetes now practically tied towards black people, hypertension practically tied towards black people. Every time you see an old lady, and you go check all the old lady, because I love the hell of them, and I go check them. All of them have diabetes. All of them have hypertension. I say, wait, what kind of thing this now? Is this just a practical thing now from a woman reach a certain age or an elder reach a certain age now? Them tied to something where a sugar really bring them towards it. Yes, if me they are Jamaica, and people make tea for me and I can't drink it, I can't drink it. Yeah, because them put them, and not even say them tip a piece some sugar, them I use 2 full tablespoons in a 1 teacup. How can I want to do that for you? What a sugar me I drink? Can I like me I drink some mint then? It don't make no sense.
Yeah, and the sugar's everywhere too, and if people are unaware, I highly recommend that you learn how to read nutritional facts on the back of a label, because when you do, you'll see they'll provide for you. Just know what your daily intake needs to be, and you'll see some of the things you eat is like half the intake for the day. And if you're a person that eats 3 times a day, obviously you're gonna exceed that. And if you're exceeding that every single day, it's just too much pressure on the body,
Yeah, really to that, yeah. Really to that. And I realize that in the movies, them even promote sugar too, Cause if you realize in a movie, like every single movie where you see a lady or a man, them sad or depressed, them go through a bad relationship, a bad day, anything, them retreat. When them retreat home, them draw for the whole heap of ice cream. Because ice cream now, them use that as a thing fake. When people sad, basically, if you check our movie structure, them always, as when any food where them put towards sadness, it always have a high sugar content. Any movie, check it out. Anybody want, not believe me, Hollywood place the whole content. Because you see the product placement, where them
I was just going to get into that. Say it. Right.
The whole advertisement thing where them have the product placements, Majority of the product placements, them have high sugary content, and them have deals with these companies to make sure that there's sugar, the placement and the increase in the sugar intake is there through movies. And them have contracts to prove that too.
And also, please always that movies are a business and they need funding for the movies. So the trade-off is advertising. Now, what some industries are doing now collectively, they're advertising the industry and not necessarily the product. So the industry benefits on a whole. If you watch like Alfred Hitchcock movies, there's a lot of women that wearing jewelry back then. Everybody's smoking a cigarette. They're not showing you a particular brand of cigarette, but they are showing you cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood star, you think they're cool, they're smoking with the hopes that they'll inspire you to smoke. Heighten the addiction of the cigarettes. So when you do smoke, you'll be a lifelong customer. Same thing. You saw it numerous times. You'll see a Pepsi can. If you're watching the movie there and you understand cinematography, there is really no purpose of zooming in on the Pepsi can except for to meet their contract of branding and giving that brand exposure in the movie.
And sometimes them can't do the direct advertisement because it's basically illegal, and then will break some laws. Just like when you say cigarette companies not allowed to advertise. You have other companies, then them use the movies now to bring in them agenda. So when it comes to sticking on the whole thing now, when it comes to sugar, when it comes to the whole agenda of cool and putting all of these things together, that's how them deceive the whole mind. I tell you, it's crazy.
And even when we do celebrate, it's sugar we dealing with. Because if you're adult, you're drinking alcohol, sugar. And if they kids, it's just pure sugar at the party.
Your birthday party, we have the cake, them the sweetest thing, them would fill with icing. So basically, we are celebrate yourself to death. I tell you that.
That sounds like the next reason. And let's get on to one sodium now, right? The salt. That's the next thing. Look at the back of the labels because I believe like a human being, they say you're supposed to get like 1,500 milligrams of salt, and most people at 3,400 a day, even more. And there are two aspects about the salt. One, you have those who add salt to the food, and if you're putting salt, you need to put minimal salt on the food, right? And the next thing, though, I can speak from personal experience, Fire, is that it's a lot of little things you're eating that have salt in it that's not beneficial, yeah. Not even things you think that's somewhat healthy, but it's important to look on the label. Like I make a lot of burritos, right? Like beans and all that, hook it up. But when you check that and you add everything you're eating, it kind of add up. And I want to let people know, ain't nothing healthy about vegan pastries, yeah.
No.
I want to tell you straight because people present that as if it's healthy because it don't have the animal product in it. It don't have the animal product in it. But I had nothing but salt and sugar.
Unhealthy replacement. I don't like that. Tell, I really, that's what I'm telling you. Say, if I and I still personally, I don't think nothing can go higher than ital. That's why I live my life in a ital way for you because you see, we don't realize, the body basically consists carbon. If you check what carbon is really, and check all of the built up of the body, I really salt and water, So with sodium, we naturally have sodium in our body already, So it's like we not have to go out and go try get all of this. And most people don't really like food, Kind of people think them like food, It's not food them like, Them just love salt, a salt, them love the taste of salt. Cause you cook all the food for your one and it's full of flavor. And you put in a little pepper and you put in a little spice them and everything nice. You put in the thyme and your scallion and the natural seasoning. And the food nice. And I'm gonna say, which part is salt? They can bring some salt for me, please. You see, that's a wait. How him really come to eat? A salt him come to eat or a food him come to eat?
And people, when you're spicing up your pot, right? Easy with the dry seasoning.
All right.
Easy with the dry seasoning because the food could taste sweet. If you put some pepper in there, you put some thyme, put some bay leaf, or some allspice, what we call pimento seed.
All right.
Enough scallion. You get what I'm saying? Enough of the some chives you could throw in there, some garlic, some ginger, some turmeric.
Yeah.
Pot sweet, yeah. Tomatoes, the pot sweet. It tastes real good. So you don't need the dry seasoning. And the next thing people need to over is the all-purpose seasoning. If you're using all-purpose seasoning, there's no need to add salt because that already has a lot of salt in there already.
Yes, and that the ones them don't even know to. Furthermore to that same, you say coconut milk too is a thing where people for practice to even replace some of them things too because the natural minerals them we bring is a thing where really vital towards the good and it help reduce your whole cravings for salt and for sugar too. Because the flavor we bring to your thing is a spice where just natural. I tell you, it's crazy how people caught up in this whole sugar and salt thing. It's not something I don't overlook.
It's not. Well, I just think that is something they're given as a child and it's soothing, and as I said, everyone has a form of escapism or something to soothe them, but I just feel food is the thing for most people, but they don't realize it. And that's the problem. And they get away with it when you're younger, but as you get older, the body not accepting it.
No.
And that's when certain things take place. And that's why you have to be proactive and be responsible. You have to be physically active, but you have to be proactive in regards to looking at what you're eating. And you got to make that change. This thing has to be a calculated thing because if you're unhealthy, life sucks. I don't know what other way to say it. You have to do the best that you can. You can't control everything, but you have to do the best that you can to have optimal health while you're here.
Yes, I see. And so the high blood pressure thing there too. The high blood pressure thing there, it have become crazy too. And the same salt content them in them something with them I eat. I contribute to the high blood pressure. I realize a lot of people are complaining about high blood pressure of recent. And things like that I contribute to it. Because enough of the thing them is like the people them give in, Because even though we know say I want to grow up with that habit, I want to really learn and you tell I want how to really go about and try to improve certain things in them life. But enough ones don't want to improve it and them not really make even an effort for try to go. Because I tell certain ones say, watch you know. So when you go do all a colon cleanse and you get all them things together and make your goody start functioning your bowel movement in a right state now. Yeah, we have to do now. You have to go and live now a week without no whole heap of salt, because remember the salt naturally in the food them already, especially if you go for even certain starch like certain yam and them thing, the salt already in them. So you see, if the people them can even make some effort for say right a week without even a salt, that's a start.
And
Believe me.
And in regards to effort too, what I notice is that everyone's an expert, but they're experts in the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that time that you put in, like some little things they focusing on not too beneficial. And I'm not saying maybe, I know you need your escape, but some of that time could be spent like doing research. Like you can really learn things by, instead of watching, some comedy videos all the time. It's not a crime to watch a video about how to make a recipe. It's not a crime to watch a video in regards to, some different exercises you can do or different food preparations or even nutrients in food, because we have to be proactive in regards to our health. And I think people need to shift their expertise into things that's beneficial for them. So a person is an expert in regards to a celebrity's life, but they're totally ignorant about their health, but yet they're complaining about their health. So why don't you put more energy about learning your health? It's the same. It's just time, fire. The same time you put into that, if you put into something else, you'll know more, apply it. And that's the next thing too. It's not just about gaining information, but the application of the information. Apply it and you'll be better off. And it even goes deeper than that, because it doesn't affect just you. It really inspires those around you, because people pre in the movements. And if you have children, it really helps them and shows them how to live. And it's like you help generations. They talk about generational wealth and we focus on monetary. I think we need to focus more on information and examples of living that we're given.
And I like, yeah. So they talk about generational wealth, and from what we are all the reason we are so right now is a generation deprivation, because I really that take place now that the past down of these habits now. I create these things now and I make certain corporations get richer and I make our good deteriorate now.
Our people getting sicker.
And then the funny part, the strange part, the most annoying part about all of this to I and I personally, the complaining. I don't get how these people complain. How them complain every single day about, yeah, boy, I'm not feel good, this a hurt, that a hurt me, but they never make an effort for try improve your whole structure fire. That's the thing we are now.
But what I'm understanding about this thing is that undisciplined people are undisciplined in all aspects of their life. So I think it's a deeper thing there with the food. And it's like, if you've never been disciplined about something and done something consistently through the ups and downs, how can you apply that to food when you've never done that in your life?
Yeah, true that.
So if a person could really, cause I feel if you could discipline your stomach, you could discipline anything. I think that's the hardest thing to really get under control. Your stomach, your cravings, to say like, I'm not eating this,
Yeah, and I like
and really put you on the heights, and that discipline could be applied to all aspects of your life. So I think the source is being undisciplined, and people should focus on having a form of discipline, fighting with yourself and trying, because you're going to try, you're going to, have a setback, you're going to try, you're going to have a setback. But what you're going to notice is you're going to have longer periods of consistency. And the more you try it, those periods are going to get longer and longer until you notice like, bro, I'm done with this. And you move on,
A reality there, that man. Reality, yeah.
So that's the vibe. But we're encouraging anyone listening right now to, if you want to try reducing your meat intake or your dairy intake once in a while, we encourage you to do that. But I highly recommend, I don't want to say I beg, but I'm pleading with the people. Say, start reading the back of these labels. Go on Google, learn how to read a nutrition. We probably need to do a video on how to read nutritional label. But easy with that flour, easy with the sugar, and easy with the sodium and the salt, because I remember the wildest thing, and this is before I even started eating properly, but I saw it and bugged me out, is that I remember one time I was at Mickey D's, I'll never forget this, and a person put salt in their ketchup.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget it. It was like a Spanish guy. I'll never forget it. And I was like, even though like McDonald's fries are salty, you don't know anything, but McDonald's fries are salty. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy, bro. But like, those type of behaviors are very detrimental to us. And even me and my wife were talking about a soul food spot we used to go to in Jersey, right? And check out this menu we used to eat: fried chicken, yams, cornbread, and iced tea. Now pre that now, right?
Sure.
And you know yams is layered like with sugar and butter, like they season it and that, and so that's sugar and butter.
Yeah.
The flour, the iced tea alone is enough sugar probably for a week.
Wow.
Then I used to have a dessert after that, fire. I know how the thing set. You get what I'm saying? So we used to deal with the thing.
I mean, I tell you guys that
they got dizzy. They got dizzy. Just gotta go to sleep after that. You can't function after that. Body shut down, overload. Yeah.
And you can't go to the bathroom to enough time to after them type of something. Yeah.
There's no fiber in there. Nothing not gonna come on.
A clog up in a fire, and that you know. You see enough of the people them to hear, enough of the people them put on so much weight to, and you have some people big and swart, you know. It's because all of these things are store up on them bowel movements. Cause you have some people them eat all of these type of things, and one time for the day them go to the bathroom, you know. And then enough people even know say on an average, you know, for a 3 to 6 times for the day, because them are store up. All right, so now if even one day you are store up even 2 to 3 pounds. 2 to 3 pounds of waste in a year good, you know. Enough people now realize that internalize in your system now, and guess what that become now?
Pounds and pounds and pounds of waste. Fire, I don't eat nothing like that again, yo. And you want to see the dump side take, yo, because check it.
Right.
I make all the turmeric smoothie when I put the turmeric in there. That won't really clear you out, tell you the truth. Yo.
Then at that, man, you good in need that, you know.
And think about it, like, and I'm eating clean, and I have this amount of stuff coming out. What about the man that's not eating clean and don't have nothing coming out and the build up? Man. You know, so now we need to be very cognitive. Highly recommend beans and greens. And as I said, it's going to take time, because the hardest thing is that palate, because you're so used to the high salt and sugary foods, and that fresh food kind of give you some time to transition, but fight with it. And expose it to yourself piece by piece, to where you can, because some people can't even eat. Yeah, some people can't drink water. It all gonna make them throw up, because they always need something sugary and sweet, and they can't eat fruit because they don't have that. They used to that fake sugar, you know.
Yeah, cause I'm gonna tell you say I'm thirsty, and him say I want some juice. If you're thirsty, you need water. And that may always encourage people. May I tell them, say, you see, one of the things them, if you realize you can't really intake the water directly, the only replacement I can tell that is just for the time being, you know, because water, you need water in your structure. But for the time being, there's only one replacement I can even encourage you, and it's coconut water, because that have the electrolytes then where you need to get you going. So and, you see that, man.
And with the water too, throw some lemon or lime in there. Even that flavor kind of weird, but it's better than the plain for those who are struggling with it, you know?
Yeah.
But fire, we give thanks for the reason, and definitely encourage people easy with the white flour, sugar, and the sodium. Wishing everybody the best on their journey. If you get free time, make sure you check us out, INeverKnewTV.com. Check out our Autarchii Black Beauty music video if you never saw it. And also, that's pretty much it. If you want to listen to the fullness of the reasons, they are available on Podomatic,
iTunes, Spotify.
And Spotify, Ballhead, and the Dread. Fire, we give thanks.
Aye.